It's the holiday season, folks, and at the top of my Christmas list this year, a new head football coach at Arizona State. Now, don't get me wrong, Todd Graham, he's had a decent run as ASU's head coach. However, with all the money the university has spent improving the facilities, adding a new video board, spending money on a new student-athlete performance center, there is no reason why the team should continue to win 6 or 7 games a year and be a middle-of-the-pack recruiter. Now, if that's what you're looking for in a head coach, by all means, keep signing Todd Graham to those one-year rollover extensions. But if you're one of the many fans down here in the Valley who want to see ASU return to a championship contender program, Todd Graham cannot be at the helm of that program. No matter the result of Saturday's rivalry game against the U of A, Todd Graham needs to be fired as Arizona State head coach. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Alex Didion, reporting. With the win, Higley improves to 8-1 on the season, and they will close out next week with senior night against Seton Catholic. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Alex Didion reporting.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of playoff football here at Highland High School. We've got the number 8 seed Hawks taking on the number 9 seed Desert Mountain Wolves in about just a few minutes. Amanda, what do you see from tonight's matchup?
So neither team went into postseason last year, but Highland is looking for their first playoff win since 2008, while Desert Mountain's looking for their first playoff win since 2012. I think the biggest question that I have for you, Alex, is what's the biggest challenge that Highland's going to face tonight?
Yeah, the biggest challenge tonight for Highland's going to be Keaton Slovis and this passing offense for Desert Mountain. Slovis over 2,500 yards this season, 29 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. They have been a dynamic offense. Joshua Walker, their receiver, is one of the candidates picked by AZ Central to be a potential player of the year in the state of Arizona. He has 17 total touchdowns this year, including 14 receiving touchdowns. That's a dynamic duo between Walker and Slovis. Will be really tough for Highland to stop.
And I think on the Hawk side, running back Jacob Wood is just coming back into the game after coming off of an injury. Do you think that injury is going to affect his playing ability tonight?
Yeah, Wood's knee was hurt last week, and they missed him greatly against Desert Ridge, specifically on the defensive side with his ability to plug up holes in the run game. So tonight, getting him back, his impact will certainly be felt on the offensive side as the team's leading rusher this season. But not only there on defense, his ability to, as I said, plug up holes is going to be huge against a team where they're going to be passing a lot. Wood also has 4 interceptions on the season. So look for him to make a big impact tonight, and he'll be a key player to watch whether or not Highland ends up coming away with the victory.
And lastly, looking back at last season, how has the atmosphere at Highland changed?
Oh, it's completely different. I mean, last season this team went 3-7. They got rid of a coach who had been here for a long time. Brock Farrell comes in from Shadow Mountain, immediately turns his team around. They flipped their record from 3-7 to 7-3, the team's first 7-win season since 2008. And they're also looking tonight, as you mentioned, for their first playoff win since 2008. And the atmosphere is electric. I mean, last week, even in a loss, you had fans up there super excited. The players down on the field have a lot of energy. It's a big-time playoff atmosphere here at Highland High School for the first time in a while.
And I think that we can both agree it's going to be a game of offense versus defense tonight. It's going to be an exciting game. We're going to take a break, but first we do want to thank Greg Allen, Alicia Holman, football boosters, friends and family who have supported this team tonight. We're going to send it to a break right now. Jordan Lake will be back in the booth with more.
All right, so I'm here with Highland defensive end Noah Evans. Absolutely phenomenal game tonight. So your defensive line, you guys started off with a sack, and from there it just seemed like you guys had complete control over the Desert Mountain offensive line. So what were you guys practicing for this week to prepare for them?
Really all week we just worked on the pass plays, our pass rush all week. Just made a point that we would know our pass rush move before the play started and had it set before it started.
Tell me a little about how it feels. This is the first playoff win for Highland since 2008. This is a big deal for this program to advance to the second round, and next week match up with Mountain Point. So just tell me a little about how that feels to bring a playoff win here to Highland.
Yeah, it's definitely big. Feels great. 2 years ago I played against Chaparral in a playoff game, and we should have won, but we lost. But it's glad that I'm glad that we won this game. So.
Yeah, and the 16-1 matchup went final, Mountain Point advancing, so that'll be your matchup next week. How does it feel to be able to match up with those guys again after you barely lost to them earlier this season?
There's no one else I'd rather play. Mountain Point, I want to play them so bad. We had a close game with them earlier this year, and I'm happy that we get to play them again.
All right, Noah Evans, thanks so much.
You may not know the name Jason Harris just yet, but if you're a basketball fan in the Valley, there's no doubt you will. Halfway through his sophomore year of high school, Harris is the number 2 basketball prospect in the state for his grade and is among the nation's top 50 players in that class.
I've been playing basketball since I was about 4, so I mean that's always that's more of like a first love, you know, because I started out when I was 4 years old, and I've kind of rode with that.
But the basketball court isn't the only realm he thrives in, as Jason is already the top-ranked sophomore football player in Arizona, despite missing the entire 2017 season, recovering from surgery to repair a torn labrum.
Football just came along with me, and I've been getting offers in that as well. So I love playing football and basketball, both sports, and we'll see what happens in the end.
Division I programs have certainly taken notice, as Jason holds football scholarship offers from schools like Oklahoma and Arizona, and basketball offers from Nevada and Florida State.
But yeah, we constantly get calls on can we come see him, and you know, not only just him but other kids as well. But they're definitely interested in him, and you know, with him also participating in the USA team, he's well known throughout the country. So again, he has that popularity and starting to build his resume.
Jason does have a leg up over many other young players, as he isn't the only athlete in the family. His father, Sean, was an All-American linebacker at Arizona who spent 7 years in the NFL. His mother, Sharon, was a 3-year letter winner with Arizona's women's basketball team, and his brother, Jalen, is currently a freshman playing defensive end for the Wildcats.
Well, I think what keeps Jason humble is he comes from an athletic family. The things he's achieved, we've kind of already did all those things.
Despite his family having so much athletic success, they have tried to keep their opinions out of the recruiting process.
I think that Jason has grown up in a household to be where he's comfortable being his own person, and I think at the end of the day he'll choose what's best for him academically and athletically. And if that's U of A, great. If it's another institution, that's great as well.
Having a brother already go through the recruiting carousel has helped both Jason and his parents navigate the rocky terrain of college recruiting.
I think it's been extremely instrumental, especially because during the recruiting process, Jason was able to take a look inside the same program. So we took unofficial visits as well as official visits. And with those visits, we brought Jason along every step of the way.
He's already made one difficult decision on a school, as he transferred this past summer from Desert Ridge to Higley High School in Gilbert.
With Jason being a really good basketball player, we thought the best thing for him was to make a switch. So we just feel we got the best of both worlds now at Higley. You know, with football, with basketball, the coaching, everything is just, you know, it's better for him at Higley.
With his work ethic, God-given ability, what he's doing, I really can't see him not being a top college prospect and potentially being drafted to the NBA.
Jason understands that despite all his accolades so far, he still has much to improve.
My greatest weakness is, I say, just keeping in games, keeping even kill, like not getting too high at times and not getting too low, just staying focused.
One thing's for sure, the ceiling on Jason's potential appears limitless, and his family will be there with him every step of the way. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Alex Didion, reporting.
Blitz, Swagger, throws, intercepted! Marquis Cooper and the Huskies will win!
Victor Marquis Cooper was born March 11, 1982 in Mesa, Arizona. From an early age, he excelled on the football field.
He just had that passion for football, and he was just, even when he was younger, playing tackle, he had a coach and they were trying to get him from one team that we had in Gilbert to come to the Chandler team.
Throughout all levels of his career, Marquis was always able to defy expectations.
He says, I have a goal. When I go to Washington, I want to be a starting linebacker there and play my freshman year. Well, I said, but know this, that most coaches redshirt at least 95% of their freshman class. And you got to keep in mind that they're moving you to a position linebacker that you've never played before. So I don't want you to get your hopes up, but look, it's all good. University of Washington, now he didn't become a starter his freshman year, but he was a backup linebacker to Anthony Kelly. He played every game. And then from his sophomore to senior year was a 3-year starter and two-time defensive player of the year for the team.
He was a much better player than I was, so it was fun, and I became kind of like a fan of his, and watching him play and being able to see him excel.
Marquis knew what he was supposed to do. You know, his football IQ was off the charts.
What separated Marquis from everyone else was his tireless desire to improve.
Once he developed himself mentally and physically and also spiritually, he literally became a Greek god.
There was a time when he finished up in high school. He'd already committed to the University of Washington, signed his letter of intent there. And so during the summer, this young man would get up at 5 a.m. every morning, go to his workout. His workout was from 6 to 10 a.m. And then he'd come home, he'd get something to eat, rest, and then he'd go back from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
But it was much more than his ability on the field that left an impact on so many.
I think that smile, and then it was rare, but when he laughed, it was a good laugh.
But one thing that I loved about Coop, that I learned about him, was he wasn't a showboat.
For me, is his work ethic. He always sacrificed everything, worked hard, he had goals, and he just worked towards them. I mean, even if there's times when he wasn't the most talented person out there, he always outworked them.
Well, the biggest thing I'd like people to know and remember Marquis for is for his undying friendship. I mean, he would give you his last dollar. He'd give you his shirt off his back.
He was one of the reasons why I started playing football, why I continue to play football. Working with him when I was at the Raiders was like some of the best memories of my life. Just showing up to work and having like that guy, like one of kind of your heroes growing up, like being right next to you.
His attitude and his kindness.
Marquis was kind, you know. Honestly, his kindness set him apart from everybody else.
His humility will absolutely be remembered.
Certain kind of player that comes around once in a lifetime, somebody who's got tremendous skill and tremendous talent, but also is just a good person.
I measure everyone against Marquis. Doesn't matter if they're in high school or in college or in the NFL. If they can do a Marquis Cooper workout, then they got a chance at doing something special.
Marquis, we love you. To all of your family members, we love you. We respect all of you. Bruce and Donna, most greatest respect and love for you. You guys raised an incredible son.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
The Mountain Point Pride did a lot more than ruffle feathers in these 6A quarterfinals Friday as they took on the Highland Hawks, who last week captured their first playoff win since 2008. The top-seeded Pride dominated from start to finish as QB Nick Wallerstedt threw 2 touchdown passes, including this bomb to Marshawn Gibson, and Highland was only able to muster 1 first down as they trailed 21-0 going into the half. In the second half, Marshawn Gibson was at it again with our play of the night as he leaps to the sky and pulls down an incredible one-handed interception. Gibson doing his best Odell Beckham impersonation here. He should have come over and grabbed Highland's turnover chain after that play.
Well, we had a lot of people out the first time we played them. They're a very good team. I think they have a really great defense, but we played at a high level tonight, all the way around, offense, defense.
Highland fought to the end, but ultimately couldn't find a way to score consistently on the aggressive Pride defense and fall 44-7. Nonetheless, Coach Brock Farrell is excited with his team's improvement throughout the season.
I mean, they changed the culture here, and the seniors built something that, you know, we can build upon for the future, and they have no reason to be ashamed. You know, it hurts to lose. Mountain Point's really, really good. I mean, they're really good.
With tonight's win, the Pride remain undefeated here at home in 2017. Next week, they'll face off with Brock Purdy and the red-hot Perry Pumas with a trip to the state championship on the line. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Alex Didion, reporting.